Welcome to DWI Steelers Edition, where we are your hosts. That's Duve, that's Wax, I'm Ellie. Fellas, without further ado, let's get straight into it. Now, let me go first off by stating that the front office needs to settle down.
What you mean?
Because, man, we need to make sure that our draft picks are successful picks to be able to put these cats in the position to make the plays.
Right.
Now, we need a quarterback. I don't want to rush out there and go pay for a quarterback that's past his prime. I don't want to get somebody out there who's just in a free agency who may not have made it for another team. And I do not want to keep getting older quarterbacks that we may or may not have had already, or that ain't worth the money that we're trying to pay them.
Right.
Now, there's a mock draft everywhere in everybody's Yahoo and Google account. How do you guys feel about this new quarterback position as far as moving forward on who we need and what we need to fill the slot?
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna go quarterback, because I don't think we'll be able to get the top two, which I think that's going to be Cam Ward. Cam Ward's definitely going number one.
What, from Miami?
Yeah. He's definitely going number one. And I think Shedeur is going to go either to the Raiders or the Giants, depending on what the Giants do in this offseason. So
right.
That pretty much leaves us with, if we're going to go quarterback, it's going to leave us with either Jackson Dart or, what's his name, Milroe.
Jalen
Milroe.
You talking about Dart from Mississippi?
Yeah, Ole Miss.
He wasn't bad, man. And dude's pretty quick, man. He got good feet and he got good spin on the ball. What about you, Wax? Do you feel like we're going to go quarterback first as far as in that draft pick?
I mean, I don't know what we're going to do, but, if we do, one of these guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, because what do you think, if we do take a quarterback, will it be like the first round?
Yeah, because we don't have a second round pick this year, so it's going to have to be the first round. And from what I've been seeing is those, other than I think Sanders and Ward, everybody else is projected as a second round. They're calling them second round, third round type project quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. So if we do pick one of them, it's going to be a reach.
How tall is Dart?
He's like 6'5", something like that. He's a big dude. He's a big kid.
So that might be our Josh Allen.
That's what I'm saying. He reminds me of him a little bit. He got a nice little touch on the ball. He's pretty steady in the pocket. Milroe got some legs. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They just had a dinner with Milroe a couple days ago. So they're definitely interested in him, but I just don't know if he's worth a first-round pick. Because I think we can probably get a good D lineman with our first pick. And that's the way I would go. I don't know if I would draft a quarterback this year. I really just want them to go with Mason, which, it is what it is, and get a D lineman, because our D lineman depth is not deep.
You, Wax?
I feel the same way he does. But I was going to say, there is Kyle McCord, too, from Syracuse.
Right.
So, he's pretty decent, too.
Okay.
I haven't watched too many Syracuse games, but, I know he's projected to go in the top 5.
Right.
But I feel like, I don't know, I wouldn't be mad if we drafted a quarterback this year.
I wouldn't either.
But I feel like you do also. Like, we still do need to work on the line, though.
Right.
Because we keep shifting guys getting hurt and stuff, and it's just leaving holes in our offensive line.
I feel like if we were to not use that first-round draft pick on a quarterback, maybe we can get somebody that's more impressionable as far as an offensive line personnel.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? Because, we still got some gaps on offense to fill. In order to sustain anybody's quarterback handoff and or passing with intricate routes being put in place, if we can't run and or pass, we don't have an offense.
Bingo.
So our defense is, the highest paid defense of last year, of 2025. 2025, 26, the one that we're going into.
Right.
That's what we need to focus on as far as trying to put this team together as an offensive push with the line personnel.
Right.
We still got a running back to fill. But I'm going to keep my mouth shut, fellas, because I was, more or less.
Hey, they might go. If Genty's there, they might take Genty.
You think?
Yeah, they might. I wouldn't do it. But they might, and I doubt they'll go O-line because we've picked O-line the last 2 years in a row.
But we still need we need a couple pieces to put in place, dude.
They got a few. They got a decent O-line right now. Like it's not. I don't know. I wouldn't waste a first. I don't say waste, but I don't know if I would. They might, because we got the 2 tackles. They're moving Broderick over. They're not gonna pick another tackle because we just got Broderick and Fatanu. We just got the new center, and he's looking like a stud.
Who, Frazier?
Yeah,
he is a stud, man.
And then they
Good
got
kid,
they
man.
got McCormick, and they still got Sayamalu.
Right.
So I think they're kind of set at offensive line for at least for. They might not want to take that much draft capital on the O line. D line, we're kind of small at that. Cam's getting old, so they kind of need to find another replacement for Cam at some point.
A young rookie.
Yeah,
to be able to complement.
Right, somebody that can hold up that middle because
Right.
the people that they have been drafting like Loudermilk and what's his name, Martavis or Montravis Adams, they're okay, but they're not like a stud out there. So, I don't know.
Let me ask you this, Wax. Would you be okay with a running back in this first round?
No, I wouldn't. Even though we need another running back,
Definitely.
But we need to take care of the line and our quarterback situation before running back.
Right.
In my opinion, just because if you get a good running back and you don't have a line, what good is he?
I got you.
Right. What do y'all think? You think we think we're gonna keep George Pickens? Because they could trade him and probably get that second round pick back, which is what I'm thinking, and then they might go wide receiver. I would keep George though. Me personally, I'd keep George because I want to see what George and Metcalf can do together. But I don't. They're both. And if you got Mason throwing the ball and he can't get him the ball the right way.
They're gonna chew him up when they get back to that huddle.
Right. And then if you got, which it looks like they're just waiting on Aaron Rodgers for some reason. If you got Aaron Rodgers, and let's say George is acting crazy, Aaron Rodgers is gonna get on TV and start talking shit on George publicly, and that's gonna go crazy. So I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. They backed themselves into a corner this year.
Good point. I don't know. I think they have somewhat of a plan, but if they stick to it, that's the question. You know what I mean? Because courting Aaron Rodgers ain't gonna get it, man. That's only gonna get us a couple of wins this year. You know what I mean? Against teams we should already be beaten on.
Right.
Yeah,
I think Aaron Rodgers gets us the same as we had last year. About 9-10 wins.
Minus the cap space.
Right. About 9-10 wins and a playoff loss.
I got you.
But I guess they're thinking. My bad. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I'll tell you what I think, but I'm probably not gonna say one word until our audience does 3 things for us.
What's that?
That's like, share, and subscribe. And I believe you have something to add on to that.
Yeah, get in that comment section.
Be in there like you've been in there. Tell us how you feel about these doggone picks that we're talking about, because we ain't doing this for nothing. We need that algorithm to keep moving and grooving. So keep us engaged. We love it. And we ask you guys what your opinions are. I personally feel like, and you know where I'm getting ready to go, fellas. Hold on. Hello? Yeah, it's Narnia. I want a running back. I need a running back. So we need to, get the stallions out of the stable and see if we can put together a good recipe to draft that premier running back that we've been also needing to have. Right. Strike this offense.
This year's deep in running back too.
I know.
If you watch the combine, man, there was 7 of them that ran like a 4.3, like a low 4.3.
But we need them to not only be powerful, but be mindful of what we got as far as offensive personnel.
Right.
You know, that guy might block for 3 seconds, that guy might not.
Right.
So you got to know where you're at, know where you're going, and know how to adjust as a running back.
Right.
Everything else can be put in place.
Right.
Now, let me ask you both this, and this is going to be an important question. Wax, I'm going to start with you because I know where you're going to come from. As far as the offensive playbook, we're going to give this guy that we just got back in there, that we just got last year, that we just newly acquired, we're going to give him a second chance out there. And I'm talking about the OC Arthur Smith.
Mm-hmm.
With everything that we're about to get as far as acquiring DK Metcalf, getting Mason Rudolph back from Tennessee, do you feel like Arthur Smith is going to put things in perspective as far as personnel-wise, or is he going to still run his ordinary offense that he draws up?
For his sake, he needs to adapt to what's happening now. Like, I know he's what is he, a run heavy offensive coordinator,
and then incorporating a tight end from time to time.
Yeah, he needs to adapt to what wins,
Right,
pretty much, because like we already had an OC that stunk it up for a couple of years,
Right.
and they ran him out on the rail.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, like I heard old women talking about him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Crowds in other sports was chanting, "Get him the hell gone."
Right.
That could. I mean, this season is a make or break for Arthur.
You better know it. That's
Like-
why I'm starting off with you first, because I need to see a perspective that's not clouded. Because this motherfucker, because this guy, we're getting ready to get into a very technical spot because of what you're talking about, the old OC, and what is looking like a replica of the first OC out there. But dude, do you feel like Arthur Smith is going to get into his bag this year creatively, or he's going to keep going with what he feels is going to be able to be a workable offense?
It all depends. It depends on who the quarterback is. If they got Aaron Rodgers, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to come here and unless he gets to do what he wants to do. And that means he's going to want to pass the ball more than he runs the ball.
Right.
Now, if they have Mason Rudolph, he ain't going to have no choice but do what he's told to do. So I think if we have Mason Rudolph, it's going to be like it was last year, not throwing the ball over the middle, not, you know, he got a big arm, so he can definitely get the ball down the field. That's one of the good things that he can do, but it all, like I said, it all depends on who's the quarterback. Because I don't think they'll open it up for Mason Rudolph to let him really just make mistakes and do what he wants. But with Aaron Rodgers, it's kind of like he's only going to come here unless he gets to do what he wants.
Full control of the offense.
And at the same time, if you do bring him in, it's like you might as well, because he's a Super Bowl champion quarterback, multiple MVPs. So you can't bring him here and put a hand and tie his hands behind his back. You know what I'm saying? You just let him do what you're going to do and deal with what happens.
And he's Sharon Stone's cousin.
Yep.
So I just had to add that.
All right.
But no, man. I mean, like, I feel you with that because, like, here's the thing. Aaron Rodgers earned the right to do what he wants. And Mason Rudolph does exactly what he can do in situations like what he's going to be put in this upcoming season.
But I think Mason will be more of a team player.
Definitely.
Than Aaron Rodgers will.
And he knows our system oh so well because he's been here before. So it's like,
well, he knows the player. He don't know the system. He's never had Arthur Smith.
No. I mean the Steelers
organization. He knows the organization. He's good in the locker room. The players love him. You know, I think they'd be fine with Mason over, you know, maybe not over Aaron. I don't know how they feel in there. I seen Cam Hayward was pretty much like, man,
you seen that too?
Yeah, if you're going to be here, then be here. If not,
don't come.
Right. But the Steelers are slow playing, or Aaron Rodgers is slow playing this, and the Steelers are just letting it happen. So it just seems like that's the inevitable.
Right. I just hope we get a guy in there that's going to be able to sustain the offense long enough to not get us 3 and out.
Me too.
That's it. Because at the end of the day, it's about execution. Period. Point blank blanks. It's about how you guys are executing these plays. Now, granted, there could be some dumb plays drawn up to where the success rate looks like it's not going to be too high.
Right.
But You get a good run, you get a good block. Who knows what that play is going to turn into? So at that point, that's why I say it's about execution, dude.
But you still gotta like be able to call the plays right. You know what I mean? If you're calling a run on 2nd and 11, that's just, you know, if you just keep doing it, and we kept doing stuff like that last year. So
it hurts us.
Yeah, you can't keep doing. Then expecting the quarterback to get you out of it.
Right.
Third and 8, 3rd and 9. It's like it's not going to happen all the time.
You know,
you got to call the plays different for every different situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like situational play calling.
Right.
Like you were saying, if it's 2nd and 10 and we're running the ball, well, you have to believe that we're only going to get 2 or 3 yards.
Right.
I agree.
Which leads us to 3rd and 7.
Right.
Do you guys know how we can eliminate that?
Doing something on 1st down.
Right there. Let's not make it 2nd and 3 or
Right.
2nd and 10.
And that comes
2nd and 3.
That comes with play calling too.
That's
if
fantastic.
everybody knows you're running every time on 1st down, they load the box up, which happened last year. They knew we was running the ball 1st down. We had the rate of us running on 1st down was the highest in the league. So everybody knew we were running on 1st down, which makes that a failed down damn near all the time.
That takes a down away every
Every time.
transition.
And
every
then
time that ball gets turned.
And then when you're 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 9, you still run it. We still had the highest rate of 2nd and long of running the ball. You're just putting yourself behind the 8 ball. And so Arthur Smith got to clean that up. He got to be more creative. He got to figure out a way to be more creative. And I guess with Aaron Rodgers, they'll probably allow him to be more creative and call audibles, because I don't think they didn't want Russell Wilson calling audibles, which is crazy to me. Like like you're in the NFL. Like what team doesn't allow their quarterback to look and see what he's seeing and say, "Oh, they're blitzing"?
They don't trust his judgment.
Well, their judgment was bad too. So it's like if yours ain't working, at some point you got to let it go.
Right.
At some point you got to trust. He's been out there for however many years he's been out there. He knows what he's seeing. You got to trust the fact that he knows what he's seeing.
Russell, baby, you're not seeing what you're seeing. You see turkeys out there. That's not turkeys. Like, they're just trying to convince him.
He's like, Coach, there's 9 guys up here. He's like, run it.
But there's 9. I said, run it now. Like, down. Say it.
1 yard gain, Najee Harris.
Like, about time you start doing what I tell you to do. Like, that is crazy. I get it.
Ain't that wild? It's just, and then they said the one game where he was calling audibles was the Cincinnati game when we beat their ass.
Right.
And they got mad at him. This is reportedly. They got mad at him for changing the plays, and he wasn't allowed to do it no more. And then you see the last 5 games of the year, we was getting pounded out.
He was like, congratulations, babe. I appreciate you winning that game for us. But hey, wait, Russell, shut the door. Shut that door. He's like, yeah, what's up, boss? I could have kicked your ass out there. You run another freaking audible. Your ass is grass. And then just like that. All right, good game, babe. And you know what I mean?
It's craziness.
Right, I agree.
So they definitely, the coaching staff definitely has to progress. They have to adapt. You know, like Wax was saying, you got to adapt to the team you got. Like, you just can't run if you got the ingredients for chicken soup, stop trying to make lasagna and shit. Like, make the goddamn chicken soup.
The best chicken soup ever.
Right.
Chicken cordon bleu.
Right.
Shit. Like, just make chicken soup.
Let me ask y'all this. Can we start a campaign and we can get, like, let's get TJ one? Like, because, like, here's the deal, man. He is going to be with us, I'm sure, until he retires. Mm-hmm. Unless somebody gives him a crazy-ass deal when it's all said and done and he's a little bit older. So I want to start a campaign so this brother doesn't work his whole football career for nothing. And let's try to get him one.
Yeah.
Let's do it for TJ, man.
Let's get him a
And not just
win.
TJ, everybody else out there.
Right.
But shit, fellas, get your
Cam
boy.
too.
Yeah, Cam is in the same line. I just feel like, Cam Hayward and TJ Watt deserve a championship, a Super Bowl.
Or at least a sniff one. I think they'll take that just to get the AFC championship.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Need that
we
bitch. We get to the AFC.
A couple playoff game wins
Yeah.
before the championship. Like, just give them a little taste.
Right.
Let's get it all in one.
I mean,
I would love to,
me
but
too.
I don't see that happening.
Me too. Like, I would love to see them win it all myself, but like, We got to crawl before we walk.
I get it, but like when we're in momentum mode and the shit is happening, let it happen. Let them watch. Like I want it to go in concession of playoff win, playoff win, playoff win.
Super Bowl.
Thank you.
We all want that.
Yeah.
I know, and I'm not saying that we don't, but you know, it's just like if we're getting down to the brass tacks wax. He's getting older. TJ's not, every year he has a birthday, he's getting older. His bones and body's getting older. So it's crunch time. Yeah. Instead of, I would love to have, how you guys say playoff, 1 year, couple other. No, we have to get it while the getting is good.
And that's why
while the getting's good.
That's why I want another stud D lineman, man, to take some pressure off of TJ, man. Because if we had another dude down there that could get after it, they can't just focus on TJ like they have been. So
and they got to double down on that big horse.
They got to do something about everybody down there, and not just TJ. And Steelers kind of got to figure out some creativity with TJ, because you just stick him over there in one spot, it's easy. Defense knows they don't have to look around. Remember when Troy was here?
Yep.
You had to look around like, oh, there's Troy. Same with everybody else. Same with all the other guys like Garrett Miles. He's everywhere. You got to look and find Garrett Miles. That's more brain power that the other team has to use.
I agree.
That's taken away from something else that they got to remember.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago. Move him
around, or move somebody. Do something creative. Send a blitz from his side. Get somebody over there that can help him out, or move him around to a different position, just so they have to pay attention. Because just that little bit of brain power that the other team got to use takes away from something else that they got to remember.
Yeah, keep them honest.
Yeah, keep them honest.
Hold on. I'm just getting the intel. The guys in the back. Baltimore. Henry. So what you're saying is if we do get a D lineman, Henry would be an option? Okay. How would you feel about that? Little wild card out there.
What?
If Henry wanted to get out of Baltimore, because he's probably on a year-to-year contract, would you take Henry?
Yeah.
You, Wax?
Of course.
All right, just asking.
But that's a big if.
Yeah.
Okay. But if it happens, remember where you heard it first, because I am known to do shit like that. You know why? I know he knows why, but do you know why?
Why that?
Because I like to wheel and or deal. So if it does happen, that's all I want you to do is remember where you heard it first, because I was doing some thinking when you was talking, and I'm like, if we do get that other stud up front, and we are able to make like a quick last-minute, off-minute trade to get and acquire Henry.
That's not happening, man. Baltimore's not going to trade him to us.
You don't know that. Or we could get Chubb.
Now, Chubb's still out there, I think. So we could pick up Chubb. And that still might be an option for them. Like, they're probably waiting for after the draft to see who they all get.
Correct.
I would take Chubb. I mean, he's a year removed from that injury. So, like, last year he was just recovering. This year he might be back to it. I don't know if he'll ever be Chubb, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like he was. But even a piece of, a little bit of that will go a long way with us, because we still got Jalen. Man, and this man hates Jalen, but
nah, I don't hate him, man. But
he
like
hates you, Jalen.
No, I don't. But like every time you say that, I just think about just tossing you the keys to the snooty fox and let y'all two get a room and shit. You can rub his feet after the game and shit. Because get off of this man's fucking joint, man.
You're the
we
one.
Still got Jalen.
You're the one.
You
honest,
hear me,
like,
honey?
Get off his dick.
You hear me, honey? We still got my bae Jay. Hey, Jay.
You're over crying like, Najee, I'm gonna miss that 4-6. I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you getting tackled by cornerbacks.
Both of y'all, man. Like,
because fucking little baby Jalen, little tiny infant baby Jalen, 6 months infant in his fucking bassinet with his little baby hands, fucking holding a rattle and shit.
It was still better than Najee.
Man, he's dope. I'll give it to you, man. Jalen, shout out, man. But we need that force to be regular.
You mix Jalen with Chubb. You got a nice little tandem.
You got your way, I'm sure.
You got a nice little tandem there.
Dude's gonna leave, like start putting their equipment away and stuff. Like, nobody gonna talk about my Jalen. We still got Jalen here.
This nigga hates when Jalen gets a nice run. He be mad as hell, like, fucking Jalen! Flip shit over.
I headbutt. But yeah, man, I feel like this. As long as we do make a few different power moves, we'll be okay. You know, we could acquire that lineman that you was talking about as far as defensively to be able to hit those gaps and do exactly what we need to do to create some type of confusion with Watt moving around. Even had Highsmith in there bouncing them around with Herbig. Incorporate something to where them guys are moving a little bit more.
Right, some creativity.
Correct. And go on the offensive side. Use the young boy that's come back home from Tennessee, young Rudolph. Get him to get that offense spread out a tiny bit, Wax.
Right. For God's sakes, use Freiermuth. They don't use Freiermuth nearly as much as they should.
We need to move that ball downfield at all costs. Don't throw any picks. So you got DK on one side, you got Williams on the other side, you got DK on one side, you got Pickens on the other side, you got Jalen coming out of the backfield able to catch the ball and run. You got Freiermuth at our tight end position, ready and willing to catch that ball at any cost, going across the middle, slant routes, wide outs, short routes. Excuse me. So with that being said, we have something that we can build on as far as on both sides of the ball. We just need to put it together.
That's a fact.
So hopefully in those back offices, Omar Khan and company is putting their poop in the group and getting their stuff together.
Right.
So, you know how that is, man. So, fellas, you know what they say.
What's that?
All things must come to an end. But the good news is, Wax, we'll be back.
When?
Next week. Same time, same location, different material. Peace.
Peace.